Hey guys, welcome back to Off the Record, where we talk about whatever we want.
You guys want to know something?
What?
I'm Buddhist.
Oh shit, congrats.
How long you been Buddhist?
All my life, I didn't know.
You look like you're a new wave Buddhist right now with the cane, the hair, the robe.
You're on the new
I
shit.
ain't even trying to do that shit, man.
Then why are you doing it?
Uncle Iro.
James Cage White, I was wearing, okay, I have
We're
this.
not talking about the t-shirt, we're talking about the kimono.
I know, but I wanted to match this.
It's kind of a cool denim kimono. It's kind of
Yeah, and I got another, I have another one that's made out of like gi material, like a judo one. But I bought this like a month ago because this is a different thought, it has nothing to do with Buddhism.
Cowboy Jitsu.
There it is.
Cowboy Jits. No, I came across me on Instagram, this, and I was like,
They get me too. They get me all the time. My goddamn. It's gonna be on my Instagram next week.
You know, there's an area in Japan that's really good at indigo dye. And then I was like, what? They do denim? And then I was like, I want to get their jeans. And then I saw this and I was like, that's next level.
Japanese denim. You know Japanese denim?
Yeah, but then with the Japanese cut though?
Just know the song.
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
mean, yeah. Well, it's the same. That's where it comes from.
Like what is it,
high-end
or what?
denim.
Oh.
Yeah, Japanese people are known for like really good jeans.
So what happened with the Japanese? Do you know how Japanese denim came into effect? All the old Levi's looms from the 50s and 40s and whatnot beyond. There's no more. They're all gone. The last ones are in Japan.
Yeah.
What?
And so
Why?
they're using the old Levi's looms to make the exact same jeans they wore in the 50s and 60s.
They kept it going.
Yeah, so all the new Levi jeans are like brand new stuff,
Yep.
water cut, and they're not made of the same
All
material.
the places that existed here in NorCal, done.
There is like one or two. There's a Japanese denim place in Venice, but you know the jeans are like $400 for the jeans.
Holy
But you go to
wow.
Japan, same thing, like in warehouses, but they have the old Levi's looms and they're making the exact denim. Probably what you guys like from the old school stuff.
Yeah. And then so
It's $800, you guys.
this was like 100.
No, 800.
Handmade. Indigo dyed. I have another one too. But yeah, that's not me. Like, I know the whole attire and the shit that I'm talking about right now seems like I just found myself and now I want to dress like what I am.
What I am.
It's not.
Got the hair tie, got the come down. You got a samurai sword. Let's fucking
Go.
fire up this bitch.
Fucking go, bitch. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
What's my guy's name from the old movie where he's a samurai? I don't know.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, the last samurai on earth. That's what you look like right now.
Tom Cruise.
His name, I forgot this, from the movie Street Fighter. Not the,
Ryu?
not right, not that Street Fighter, old one. Okay, it's okay. It's an old Japanese film.
It's a Japanese film called Street Fighter.
I thought it was called Street Fighter.
Are you talking about Beat Takeshi? Are you talking about the fucking karate guy?
Are you talking about, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Keshi 6ix9ine.
Oh, okay, so you know, like lately, this whole meditation and mindfulness stuff, and like Eckhart Tolle and all these like Western dudes that brought Eastern ideas to, they just recoined the stuff, but it's just basically Buddhism.
It's rebranding.
It's just Buddhism, right?
Just
and then
like
Casey made a good like observation because I was like, hey, did you guys know that this is just Taoism and Buddhism and all that? And then Casey's like, yeah, it's they just renamed it because like atheists wouldn't like anything that sounds religious.
Right.
And I was like, psh, but
It's like, I'm atheist.
yeah.
I'm Buddhist.
I studied some Scientology for a while, and I was like,
What's your Thetans levels?
I don't know, I didn't get that high, obviously.
Come on, man.
But I was like, this is Buddhism for, whatever, white people, for Western civilization. Yeah,
Scientology is?
it's all
they make it
Buddhism. I mean, there's different things.
That's like Buddhism.
You're not supposed to talk about Scientology outside of Scientology.
Oh shit.
They call it scrolling, but whatever.
No, I'm scared for you because they're scary. Don't
Nah,
say anything.
they're
This is a public
there's a
video,
lot of shit
Dante.
going
This ain't
on.
Patreon.
This public?
This is public.
Y'all know.
You're from Paramount, though. You're from Paramount.
No, but I'm just saying there's things that I remember because it's been years since I had been around it. But there's like things where like was just like that's meditation. That's meditation. There's things like that was just very Eastern philosophy stuff. But there's also things. It was really powerful stuff. But it's not like wasn't unique to me to that. It was to me it was Buddhism for the Western civilization. There's a place to get to a place called clear, which you have no reactive mind, which is a place of enlightenment.
True.
There's nothing that you say that I can take serious because your fingertips are red.
Yeah.
You got the flaming hot
You
Cheetos.
trying to tell me about Buddhism? Where it's clear in the mind.
Can you imagine staring at the one red finger wagging across? I'll tell you one.
Also, when you were doing the poem, I couldn't help but look at your red fingertips either. But I was so entranced with the
I'm
poem.
like a firebender, so I got red fingertips.
I didn't notice until
flaming
right
hot
now. I didn't
firebender.
notice until Bart pointed it out.
But one of the crazy things about studying, I did do this thing that was I used to, and I made up this term myself because a lot of Scientology was like no one's teaching you anything. You just got to read books and it's whatever. One of their tenets is, if it's true for you, it's true for you. Period. I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. But I had this one thing where I was doing this thing, and it would happen where. Went through meditation and like I looked at a wall one time for like 8 hours.
What?
And you kind of like look at it until you get to a place where you can like look, or you look at someone for 8 hours. 8 hours, you know what I'm saying? But longer even sometimes. Wow. Until you get to a place where you can kind of, like, I forgot what the text was, but like kind of do it forever.
That's Buddhism.
That's Buddhism. I'm like, this is meditation.
Yeah. That's meditation.
And we're falling asleep, me and my brother laugh and we can't do it. But then when you tap into it, I'd had this experience I would call crowning, where it's like my antenna came up, bing, and all of a sudden, it was weird. Like I can feel everybody in the room at the same time. I can hear every conversation.
Cool.
Your energy goes out. Then you walk around. It's like, you know, when you're playing basketball, you can't miss a shot, or it's like that moment where you're walking through the hallway and it's like I can feel every molecule.
Like you're engaged.
You're like fully in it.
Like living.
Yeah, and I called it crowning. It's like, and then that shit would happen to me sometimes. I would try to do this crowning thing sometimes when I went to auditions, like let's just get into the fucking matrix, but that kind of shit. But that's also, like you said, like that's like Eastern philosophy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I feel like I went through the journey of a white person does, just that I look the part. If I fall into Buddhism, I don't look fucking weird doing it. You know what I mean? Like, cause I grew up Christian. And so my family threw away a lot of traditional and whatever. And in the form of Buddhism that exists, I think for most people, they don't even practice it normally or right. It's just ritual. Kind of like how like a lot of Christians in Europe or whatever might just do it for ritual purposes and culture.
Tradition.
For tradition, yeah. But like when you look at the scripture and go into it, you know that most people are just not practicing it. They're just doing it. They're just doing the rituals, the ceremonies.
Going through the motions.
They're just doing the motions, yeah. Like, and then so I never understood it. My grandma was born this way, so it started with my grandma, who decided that she wanted to become Christian, and then her family was like, "Why the fuck are you so stupid?" And then so she got kicked out or resented
Of the house, get the fuck out.
But then she raised my mom and my aunt under Christianity, so they didn't grow up normal Japanese. Normal Japanese kids, they learn Shintoism and Buddhism, and then along comes me, right? And then so forth. So like I feel like there's no difference between me and a kid that just grew up here in America, Christian, and then you go through the phase of atheism if you go against religion. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of cool how they talked about mindfulness and all this stuff. And that's how they're feeding this group of, I guess, not just millennials, but everyone who doesn't want to be religious. Because when we think of religion in the Western world, we're thinking Christianity.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any reference point. Like the religion in the Eastern sense is nothing like the Western sense of religion.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense that all these
sense.
like people that are walking away from Christianity are finding mindfulness to be, you know, something that they could rely on. Because I feel like, for me, I've coming to terms with the fact that I think all people need a belief system, and not like a religious one necessarily, but like a belief system in terms of how to conduct yourself, how to like strive for an ideal, right? And yeah, I think, you know, Buddhism is that too. It's like there's not necessarily a God within the religion, or like Taoism or whatever, but it's like there's a principle behind it that guides you through life, and you can kind of fall back on how to, you know, play the game of life better, right?
Well, there is a need. I was reading some stuff about there is a need for religions in society. It's always kind of whatever, you know, there's something we need to like higher than us, or else we can resort back to just kind of like self-indulgence, you know? but all these religions are antiquated, super antiquated.
That's even kind of what celebrities are to people. I think like we kind of like revere celebrities almost as a like above human level, where you're like, oh, this is what they do, this is what they do. Yeah, so you deify them. And so I think even without actively saying like this is my religion, people practice religious like admiration and like that's what I have to do. Jordan is a god, or this person's a god.
They worship them even without knowing.
Yeah, and
realizing
talk
it's like a religious thing.
Yeah, talk about the drama.
Or that whatever the hell we want to do.
Yeah, we're religious without even knowing it.
But I think there's like, I don't know if we talked about this before, but I was like, I think with the internet, the religion's gonna change because you know, what is God but someone you ask for questions and you don't really get answers?
Yeah. Google is
what is Google but someone you ask questions and you get answers? What's a church but a place of, you know, similar like-minded people, you know, communing about something
with big candles.
Yeah, what's the social network? What's Facebook? What is that but
the Reddit forum?
Yeah, but your church, your new church. It's like the church, but not only that, what is your soul? But the idea of something that's not your body and yourself, but a piece of you that may live forever, that have
profiles.
Yeah, it's your profile. Like, what is your profile online, but your soul in a digital world? Like, that's religion. I mean, I think it's going there. It's already there. Like, your soul is there. Like, you know, I'm sure it's going that way. I don't know who's gonna capitalize on it. You guys want to form religion?
Yeah, let's do it. What would we call it?
Singularity.
Kabbalah.
Singularity.
It already exists. Today's video is brought to you by Upstar. Upstart is a lending site that can pretty much get you approved with loans beyond just your credit score. They go and assess you based off of like education, job history, and all kinds of other ways so that you can maybe attack your debt crisis, your credit crisis, or many other financial issues through Upstarts.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, they're trying to, when you want to pull a loan for whatever, it could be to buy a new computer for work or to buy a motorcycle or something like that. They think of what are my normal avenues, and is my credit limit on my credit card high enough, or maybe going through the bank. But sometimes going through the bank or the more traditional methods, because it's only based off of credit history, you might not get qualified for that much. Or if you go through a big institution, sometimes it takes forever to get your loan. And if you're in an emergency, you need it fast. And what's cool about Upstart is they can approve you in 5 minutes, and once approved and you agree to the rate, you can get your loan the next business day. So here's another option of where you can get access to money fast if you need it. Check it out, Upstart.
Because like you might need a motorcycle right freaking now.
Right before your first date.
You might need it now, or you might just need to pay off that credit card loan because you're like, dude, this is crazy. Like this credit card, I have a 30% APR, outrageous amount. I don't know.
Chinese credit card company.
It's a loan shark company. Hey man, I want the mafia to get off my back. Well, maybe you can get Upstart to help you out. And then you pay that off, and then you just owe one easy payment to Upstart instead.
Yeah, so check it out. Go to upstart.com/offtherecord. That's upstart.com/offtherecord. You can go to the link in the description below to click the code and see if they can get you a better rate than what you're getting now.
Thanks, Upstart.
Did you guys watch that other one about the cult on HBO, The Vow?
No.
I heard about it though. It's pretty crazy.
It's kind of like Scientology, but there's a guy, but then it became a sex ring. It became
is it the
Nexium.
Nexium?
Nexium.
Oh.
So check this out, the girl in that.
It's a docu-series?
Docu-series. Allie Mack, who's like, was the right-hand girl to the guy.
She's from Smallville, right?
She's from Smallville.
Is it the one where they were
She also went to the same school with me and Pedro Pascal and graduated my sister.
Oh shit.
Like, this guy, so many
everyone.
people, bro. What?
Did you go to school in the OC or the Bang?
Came out. My sister was like, I'm taking down Facebook pictures. That's fucking crazy. I'm like, what?
That's the one that they were burning.
Yeah,
They were
people.
branding them.
So it turned into a sex ring?
I watched the whole thing. It was like,
Why is it always mass suicide or a sex thing?
Because it's the like Jonestown. All that dude did was he had sex with everyone's wife, and then he killed. Then everyone.
Is it that serious though? You know what I'm saying? Is it that fucking serious that you gotta I gotta brainwash all these women to have sex with them?
But at
can't
the
you
end
just
of the
go to a fucking bar, dog, and just go?
No game.
How likable is it?
He got game enough to brainwash a bunch of.
Community of people, like husband and wives, like everyone loved this fucking guy.
Wow.
Did you watch it?
Yeah,
It's a power
Jonestown.
thing.
Not Jonestown, but
No, the Jonestown is the only thing I've watched.
We reported it on JKNews when it first broke.
it's fascinating. I mean, I think, you know, sometimes. I mean, I was in a very cultish acting class for 20 years.
What?
Well, you were in Scientology too, right?
Scientology.
Wait,
I wrote
what's
about it in my
the
book.
cultish?
I mean, if I had a band, I'd be called Susceptible to Cults. But I think a lot of us are.
You like the vibe though, you know?
No, I think LA. I mean,
I can picture him in a cult, dude.
Yeah.
LA's susceptible to whatever cult you can call it. Religion. I mean, look, religion's a cult.
You gotta start your own cult, bro.
You know why? Because actors are hella emotional, but like not critical and like actors. The stereotype is most actors are not very argumentative people. They're more like what's the word? Agreeable. They're like, oh, is that what it is? I want to know more about you because they love to study humans, right? So they're like, oh, tell me more. And then you investigate and you're like, I could see myself doing that shit.
Yeah. They get into the role too much.
Yeah.
They lost themselves in a role.
It's
Yeah,
like
we're-
the ultimate level.
People
of
are all
empathy.
here. There's so many people here trying to catch something that's so intangible. Yeah. And they do whatever you can to empower yourself and be. If you're idealistic, you kind of commune with other people idealistically, and it's kind of like. I mean, almost all religions are like paper thin, like a paper thin concept that you just have to just get on that bus and go, okay, she was a virgin and she gave birth to the Savior.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait,
let's
what's the
go.
name of your book? I want to read this.
My book's called From Rufio to Zuko, which is like a memoir. But yeah, I think, you know, we talked like religions. I mean, China's a cult. I mean, countries are cults. I mean, America's a cult. To a lot of
It's
Americans,
a gang.
we're a gang. We're a cult. We believe in these things that are like maybe true, maybe not true, but we'll ride hard for it. Mm-hmm. We don't want to like look at it and go, hold on a second, you know, because that's part of the situation. But I think in all of our lives, we all go through. Our families become cultish to a degree at times, you know.
I never had sex with my dad.
No, so you're not sex with dad. I mean, once you start getting sex in the cult, now you've gone too damn far.
Is that what happened to your acting cult?
No. We never got that far. We just,
Which was a bummer though, right? It was a bummer.
You were waiting for that.
damn.
What the fuck, man? I thought the story was gonna go somewhere. I know. Because I remember I went to a Christian school when I was like in 6th grade. I didn't know anything about Jesus or anything of the Bible. I didn't.
Where'd you grow up as?
Nothing really. Like,
Atheist.
yeah, I guess.
Well, atheist is something.
Atheist.
Agnostic.
Agnostic.
And like with almost, well, as he's explaining Buddhism, I'm like, shit, I guess we were kind of Buddhist, like, you know, at least my dad was.
Most Asians are default
Yeah.
Buddhists without knowing it because it's just in our culture.
My mom she's from Singapore, so like they were pretty Christian, I think. I don't know, but they're also, but a lot of our family in Singapore is Muslim too, so like I don't really know. But we went to a Christian school. I went to a Christian school, and I didn't know anything about the Bible. And when they would tell us stories about the Bible, I was always like, oh no, man. But it was also probably my dad. He's like, hey son, don't believe that shit. Like it's all.
Why did they
nonsense.
put you in that school?
I don't know, dude.
That's confusing for a kid.
I grew up Catholic and went to Catholic school. But in I'm Catholic everywhere. I mean, we had prayers at my grandmother lived with us. We had prayers every week with all the old Filipinos coming over potluck every Friday. And so it's just part of our culture. However, I never took any of it as true. It was just like, this is just a story. Like the Good Samaritan is a story. The story of Jesus. It's just a story to tell you about something how to be a better person.
Like fairy tales.
Yeah, it's fairy tales. I always took it as fairy. I never took it. Then you start meeting people and they go, "Oh, you think this is history?
Yeah.
This ain't history."
What's the way they teach it? So I went to I went to a Christian private school, 2nd grade and 3rd grade, and you know you have like different subjects, right? Like math or science, social studies, and it would be like, okay, you just learned that if you put a prism like next to a window, the fucking light comes in and it turns into a rainbow, right? And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And you kind of learn about gravity. All right, put your science books away. Now we're gonna open our Christian books, and then you have like this burning bush talking to people, and you're like, wait, I'm supposed to memorize this shit the same way I just memorized that shit?
Yeah.
Then it starts to confuse you because you're like, Because if you would have just told me these are good life lessons and good stories and like almost like Aesop's fables,
I just took it like that by myself. But
I didn't.
me neither. I was like,
Jonah the whale was what got me. I was like, well, like what?
yeah, I'm like, this is kind of different from that.
I was like, no fucking way. Like in my head, I felt bad. I felt guilty.
there was something in the Roman Empire that came up, and then there was reading about Pontius Pilate, who's one of the guys you say in the prayer after the homily every day, like Pontius Pilate did this to Jesus. Like, hold on a second, Pontius Pilate. And I'm like, is this the same dude that we talk about in church on Sunday? Like, he'd say his name in his prayer, and it's like, oh, he was real. But then that's when I started figuring out, hold on a second, these people are thinking this story is historical fact.
Yeah.
That ain't, I don't think it's, I always took it like, whatever, like George Washington planting cherry trees. Yeah. It's not historical fact, it's just a good lesson.
Yeah. But he didn't plant those?
I don't know if he did or not. I don't know if he did or not.
You're ruining my world, bro. Like this guy.
I thought he had a lot of apples.
Yeah, and his teeth are his teeth real?
Yeah,
Like,
Washington apples, right?
yeah. Is Abe Lincoln really honest, bro? Like where do we draw the line?
Didn't he like cross the fucking river in a boat during ice cold?
That's
water?
Oregon Trail.
Oh damn, Oregon Trail.
Think about those days there was no way to fact check
That's
nothing.
what I'm saying. I'm
It
like,
was just like,
everything, how do we know
Bart
that's
over
even
at the
true?
saloon said,
Like if you sound too cool, from
They
back in
fuck
the
you
day,
up.
it's probably a lie. That probably didn't happen. You're probably just saying bullshit, just spreading propaganda about how cool Abe Lincoln was. He
Do
probably
you
was
know?
cool though.
Can you think about this though? Like it was just our parents and our grandparents' generation where they couldn't fact check. Us and on, we can fact check.
But
so that's how crazy it is. Cause them, I don't know, they just made shit up. Parents, like that generation and on, if they thought something, they didn't differentiate between a rumor, the newspaper, what is said on a textbook, or if they just made it up.
Yeah.
All of it is the same fact. There's no differentiation of fact and fiction.
But even the stuff that's
well, if it
written,
was written, it was more fact to them in a book or something. If it was printed.
yeah. But even the things that are
I'm
being
saying-
written, it's like, how do we even know that
Yeah,
that's
you don't
even
know.
for sure true? Because then they go based off of the Bible, for example, and they're like, well, it was written. It's the oldest book
Yeah.
in human history that has
not
everything
good.
in it is true.
It's not good.
So I'm like,
Not that's not good. It's like with the I think with like the Quran and with like the Jewish books, they're all the same.
Yeah.
They're all the exact. There's only one book, right? With Christianity, with the Bible, there's so many books.
Yeah.
You're like, hold on a second, which is the right book? They're all got. They got
All in different contexts, you know, like
Yeah.
they're all over.
back in the day, it took so much to print a book that it had to be pretty spot on or true enough to even print it.
But even
Now you can do a post, and you're like,
yeah.
didn't cost me nothing. And I just,
But even nowadays, with all the facts that are out there and all the information, people still don't fact check.
right.
They don't even know how to.
Well, yeah, and they're constantly just, you know, someone can make a lie and it becomes common knowledge now. Like this is the new thing.
Well, also, what is true? You know, there's that thing of like perception is reality, especially in this town. But even in the world, like when more people believe something to be true than not true, then that's what's true.
Like Richard Gere and the gerbil. Do you know have any insight on that?
I don't
or
have
Marilyn
evidence of
Manson
that.
taking out his rib. It's like, isn't that true?
Yeah, but I also think like racism, as long as more people believe it doesn't exist than exists, then it's over.
That's true.
That's it.
That's true.
But it's like, how do we get to the tipping point?
Because it's all context, right? It's like it's all compared.
perspective.
It's all compared to what? Like
Yeah.
that's what it really comes down to. So we're all fucked, right?
There
You know
is
what I mean?
25 years, Nick.
25 years.
There's something called
Start counting the days.
There's something called objectivity, like something that's pretty solid.
Objectively true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most of the things we're talking about is a construct of what humans created. So like, there's no way to prove it.
What are some objective truths?
Gravity?
Condoms are awful. Condoms are awful.
Hold up, though. But if you're if they would have really screwed you up in school, that here's the prism, it goes to the light, see it make the rainbow. God did that. Then you're like, huh?
That's literally my school.
God did that. Then when you say God did that, you're like, oh damn, God did that.
Everything was God did that because it's almost like easier to say when you're talking to kids and you're trying to explain certain things. It's easier. It's almost easier to be like God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get
lazy.
and then you get in a line, and the teacher goes, and you have a whole line of students, and they're like, "Did God do that?" The kid's like, "Yeah," and you get an A. What about you? And I'm like, "I don't think so. I think I saw the prism do it." Okay, and you get an F. And I'm like,
Right.
I would have changed my answer.
I mean, God did that.
Be more objective, Bart. Fuck, dude.